Right, good morning everybody. Welcome to Safari Live Overtime. We're sitting here in the pre-dawn in South Africa, the Western Kruger Park. There are 4 of us out here, and for the next hour we're going to be following the predators of the Western Kruger National Park. We've got here a little 9-month-old leopardess called Tlalamba. Her mother Thandi is out trying to fetch breakfast with a chap called Tristan. Hopefully we'll introduce you to her and him very shortly. Dawn has just broken over here, and so as we look at the sky just brightening, please do ask us any questions you'd like to. We'd love to have any questions or comments that you might like, and you can extend those not only to me but also to Tristan.
Well, we are also having a fine time trying to keep up with Tlalamba's mother. Thandi is really going all over the show this morning and is very, very busy. So my name is Tristan. On camera I've got David. There we go. And she is just out in front of us now. So she's in a situation where she's just kind of stopped herself right in front of the car and she's busy listening to something. It's interesting because she was walking down the road and she's really been walking hard this morning and has been going very, very fast. And you can see in the flare she's kind of hunched down a little bit at the moment, so her back end is sort of hunching and she's listening very intently. And I was saying that she was walking really quickly this morning. She's been absolutely everywhere. We've gone from Gowrie Cut Line all the way through. We're now kind of north of the camp, and so it's a long, long way that we've walked this morning. Very, very busy walk that she's been doing and lots of scent marking. And all of a sudden she just halted into her tracks and she stopped right here, and her ears are up, alert, and she's listening. So I wonder if there's not a prey animal that's very close by. We've got Steve who's going to come with the drone just to come and have a little look and see if he can spot something that she might potentially be hunting. But at this stage it looks as though she's kind of interested in something. I don't know if it's very big. You can see with the flare we can't actually see anything ahead of her. All we can see is that she's very alert and sort of looking down into the ground. Now it might be something small like a scrub hare or a mouse or even a bird that she might be hunting. It could also be something like a little baby duiker. Now those are things that will often be a good meal for Thandi, although she seems now she's lost interest and is going. The problem with Thandi and what's been happening this morning is that we have a situation where we are trying to keep up with her, but she's just going through such thick, dense areas that we're really struggling to actually keep her at this stage. It's been a situation where we think we've seen more bushes and trees this morning than we've actually seen a leopard, but we'll keep trying. If she goes down into this drainage, we're all but done for. There's really very little that we can do. Now, while I try and keep up with her down here, I at least have the aerial support of Steve, who's going to try and keep Thandi's vigil while we try and catch up with her through the thickets.
Yes, well, good morning, everybody. There you can see the picture of Thandi in the middle of the screen, that little white blob moving, and that picture that looks like a vehicle moving. Well, that is indeed Tristan trying to follow her, and you can see how Thandi went sort of down and up. It's very hard to really understand the terrain on the ground. We can try and tell Tristan where she is, but for him to get there is very, very difficult. And you can see how he stopped because she obviously went through a little bit of a depression. Good morning, everybody. My name is Steve. I'm joined on camera by Fergus, and there is also a drone pilot over there by the name of Sebastian, and we're in the air having a look at all of these interesting things. It's been a marvelous morning. We found Thandi and Tlalamba earlier with the drone, then we left them and we came back when Tristan lost him. We've helped him to relocate again, which is absolutely sensational. Very exciting being out here in the pre-dawn in the African wilderness. And let's go back over to James and Tlalamba.
Well, Tlalamba is over there. I'm going to give her another, I'm going to say 15 or so minutes before we probably head out and see what else we can find. She is, of course, a leopard, and so although she's not performing great feats of athleticism at the moment, we must be grateful that there she is. You can see maybe just a little bit there. Oh, there's a male leopard right here. Male leopard right here calling. Right here. I'm going to move slightly. It's most likely Tingana, her father. Let's move. Let's just have a quick turn around here. He's right here. I don't want to cause her any alarm, because she is very little, and so we don't want to sort of be making a great big noise. Let's just get the spotlight out and see if we can't spot him. And I'm also not going to light her up, because if it is a strange male leopard, well, then she'll be in trouble. I hope it's her father. Unfortunately, there's a massive tree behind us, so it's going to be a 100-point turn. Okay, let's go. Just turn the lights off there so we don't illuminate her. A lot of you saying you don't want it to be a male leopard. Well, it is a male leopard, but who it is anyone's guess. I'm afraid we're in amongst a severe amount of bush there. There he is. Who is it? What we're looking for in the father is a very long dewlap and a 5-5 spot pattern. That's him. That's her father, everybody. Now, mother is not here. So that's Tingana. Male leopard, aged almost 13 now. Looks like he's about to climb onto my lap. I hope that doesn't happen. Now we can see Tandy from where we are. I'm just going to angle the car slightly, Craigus. Now, I don't think we need to be worried, everybody. He's met his daughter a few times, and they've actually interacted, apparently physically. So, I think she's just darted off the termite mound there. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, she's right. I don't know. Yeah, she's right here in front of us, Craigus. She's right there, just over there. No, she's just there. Yeah, you got her there. Tingana, I can see he's moving away. Can just see him dimly moving away, turning slowly towards us now. There he is. Now I'm not going to move because she's slunk down in front of the car. I don't want to give her a fright. I can't see her right now. Yes, I can. She's right in front of us. She's just there, Craig. He's calling. Interesting, though, that she's not interested in being around him when her mum's not here. He's moving away now. Yeah, Sarah, it's possible. It's indeed possible that Tandy could turn and come back here, knowing that she's left her daughter quite close by. But it's not definite. So he's moving away now. And I think we're going to follow him. We're just going to get one last look at little Tlalamba here, who's looking in the opposite direction. She's right in front of us, Craig. Dead straight in front of us. Well done. Chitty Chatty Meg, it's possible that a father would kill his daughter. I can't see why that would happen, but it's possible. You saw her reaction. I mean, her reaction wasn't one of, yay, Dad's home. I'm going to suggest we leave her, and let's follow the male. I'm not going to follow her moving. The bush is too thick, she's too young. Naturally, we are now pinned against a number of bushes. So we're going to leave her alone. She's just slinking off still. Alrighty. While we try and catch up with Tingana, let's go back to Tandy, the mother, and Tristan.
Well, there's no sign of Tandy. Unfortunately, we are in an impenetrable forest at this stage, and so we really are struggling to try and even get anywhere, let alone try and follow a leopard through. In fact, this is as far as we're going to be able to go. So she was last seen somewhere in front of us, kind of going off from left to right. I just have no idea how we're going to even try and get through here. It is as thick can be. There's just trees absolutely everywhere and fallen over stumps, and so we are going to really battle to try and get through here. It's not going to be very easy, and well, it's been the story of the morning. All we've done is try and find routes through major thickets to try and follow her this morning, and I suppose that's how she can be sometimes. I think she's also trying to now hunt a little bit as well. So she was scent marking and just doing territorial patrol, but now that she's starting to hunt in these kind of areas, it really isn't ideal for us to be crashing through big thickets like this, because all we're doing is ending up chasing animals away from her, and she's really going to struggle to try and find any sort of food items if we're just hitting trees all the time. She's just going to have a situation where she's going to be disturbed a lot, and we don't obviously want to disturb her at all. And so I think what we're going to do is probably leave her be. I don't think we're going to have a situation where we're going to spend too much more time in this area. I just want to stop where I am right now, because the last time we kind of saw it was going this direction, and we had a brief view of an impala around, and I wonder if maybe she didn't spot that impala and that's why she's coming this direction. So I was hoping that maybe she'll just pop out somewhere close by. Also, it's now getting to that time of the day where we're going to get a few animals that are going to start waking up a little bit, and birds and those kind of things, and so they'll start to spot her and they'll alarm call and help us out a little bit if she does clear this thicket. So what we'll do is we'll just hang around in the area and hope that she does come out and move around a little bit more than what she is doing right now, in a bit of a more friendly area as well. But like I say, for now I'm just trying to work out if there's even a way that I can get through here. It doesn't really look like it. It looks as though it's completely vegetated in this area, and lots of fallen over stumps. Right, well, while we try and negotiate this and try and get ourselves out of this mess we've gotten ourselves into, let's send you back across to James, who's getting himself into his own mess.
Well, we can't see him right now, but we can smell him, and they're impala going crazy. And by smell him, I mean I can smell popcorn. Yes, that's what I said. The urine of a leopard smells like popcorn. He's just up ahead here. He called again, and the impala are going ballistic, snorting their alarm at the size of this amazing male leopard. And of course we are in the gauntlet series, and well, there's no greater gauntlet for an impala than a big male leopard. Come on, he must be here. Just walk past here. There he is, got him. Michael, no, I don't think she consciously... Well, she might have. She may have chosen to hide behind the car, but we just happened to be in the right position for her to get onto the opposite side of the termite mound. So, yeah, I'm not convinced that she necessarily chose us. This is exactly the route that Thandi followed earlier today. These two leopards are seeking each other out. There he is. Sorry, Craig, it's very difficult for Craig to get you a decent picture while we're moving. We'll just stop through here. There we go. Safari, the leopards, well, not acting very strangely. I think that the leopard life here is just in a bit of a turmoil, you know. Strange males pressuring from north, south, east and west. Tingana having to do a lot of protecting. That sound you can hear is not in fact a coffee grinder, but Craig's camera giving a little bit of trouble. Oh, that's not Craig's fault, everyone. I will tell you that we have lost brakes on the car, so we're going to have to drive relatively carefully through here. Luckily there's a great mechanic back at the lodge. Oh. Alrighty. We're doing well now. Light is slowly coming up. It's a very grey dawn. He's heading straight towards where Tundi went. I don't know where Tundi is at the moment, but let's go and find out from Tristan.
Well, James, I'm not really in a position to tell you where she is either, because I've completely lost her as well. So, no, I'm just kidding though. Obviously, the last time we saw her was quite far to the west of where James is, but Tingana sounds like he's walking the exact same route that she did, and so we're trying very hard to find her once again. She was somewhere in this area. We were on the other side of this little thicket, so I'm just checking to see she didn't come southwards and head in our direction now. We managed to somehow get round all of those big sort of thickets, but we no luck so far. So while we look again, let's send you back across to James, who's got another view of Tingana.
2-track. Right, we still have him. He's walking down a little road here, marking his territory as he goes. I'm just going to turn off and we can roll down. There he is in front of us. Thank you, Craig, with your coffee grinder. I'm just going to get on the Game Drive radio, everybody. This is obviously a tourist area, and so game drives will come quite close here. Okay, he's just going to pop out on Mvubu Road in about, I'm going to say, a minute. Yeah, let's keep going. We want to stay far enough away from him that should he want to listen or perhaps smell in the absence of what this car smells like, he can do that then. I'm afraid I missed that entirely. Kirsten, the Game Drive radio is too excited that Tingana's here. Right, a question from somebody called Miss Muffin. Hello, Miss Muffin. I hope you're having a lovely morning with us. I do think that they could well mate again. They're both 12. Well, he's almost 13. She'll be 13 fairly soon too. She's probably got one more litter in her, maybe. He's certainly got at least 1 or 2 more matings in him. So yeah, let's hope that they do. And Tundi's cubs apparently seem to go independent relatively early. So they're all called Tamba, who was her last one, went independent of her, well, probably because she started mating again when he was only a year old. And so, in theory, Tlalamba should mature faster than her brother Tamba did, and she could go independent in 3 months' time, whereupon mating may commence again. Right, I just need to get on the radio quickly. He's turning to the north through the drainage, basically going towards Mvubu Road now. We're going to have to go around on this road to see if we can keep up with him. In the meantime, let us take to the skies with Captain Commander Steve.
Well, thank you again. Well, we went back to change some batteries, and we've raced back to this area to see if we can find Tundi, and we lost her exactly here. And here are some antelope, but no sign of a cat. Maybe that spot right at the bottom could be her lying flat, Seb. Do you see that, just underneath that one antelope? It could be her in some cover. Very hard to say sometimes if they're not in the open. The trees can really cover them. Could be her stalking an antelope there. This is the last place we saw her. And if she hasn't moved back, then maybe she's lying very flat. You see those antelope are moving. You see how they walk in a sort of single file, the same way we would walk if we go on a walk. A little bit of signal break up there, unfortunately. That's what happens, the technology, when you have a remote control radio kind of thing and a drone in the air and multitudes of marula trees. It is very possible that the bouncing off does happen. Sorry, Heather? Has who been seen? Hukumuri. Someone thinks they might have seen him yesterday. There were tracks crossing sort of where we're looking now in a south-westerly direction. One of our tech guys saw a leopard, didn't identify him clearly. They don't get to see them very often. It was a male leopard. Could have been Hosana, we don't know. But I haven't seen Hukumuri in some weeks now. I don't know where he is. He's probably in the west doing his thing. Maybe because the Duke is calling so loudly, constantly. This is definitely his terrain. I think Hukumuri maybe is a little bit scared. It could be. Okay, well, talking about the Duke, let's go and have a look.
We've come off a road, onto a road, off a road again, and here he is straight in front of us. So it's a bit of a tricky area here. There is a game drive vehicle coming in. I'm just going to help them get in. They, of course, have an enormous vehicle in comparison with our little one. Yeah, James Richard, I cannot agree with you more. I mean, not that I've ever had cause to disagree with you, but you say that Tingana is looking like a prime example of a dominant male leopard. He absolutely is. He's looking magnificent. He got that dreadful injury the other day, limping around, his squonk right ear, and we thought, oh, maybe this is it for this old man. And within 3 days, his ear had stood up straight, and he was walking completely fine. And he's looking heavy and strong and lithe and really very good. Let's get a look at him there. He is, of course, now walking straight towards one of the camps here. And that light you can see on him is from a game drive vehicle. I do apologize for the camera doing what it's doing. It really isn't the poor cameraman's fault. The cameraman is Craig the Batman Zummit. Obviously he would never make a mistake like that. It's just malfunctioning quite appallingly. And we'll try and fix it shortly through the medium of a piece of wood or something that we can hit it with. Okay, I'm not sure exactly where we're going to, but we are going somewhere.
Well, good luck, James. Hopefully you'll get everything sorted out and everything will be okay. We've unfortunately left Thandi now because, well, we just couldn't find her in there, and it really is impossible for us to drive around. It's exceedingly difficult to get through there, and so we thought, well, we'll just leave her for now and we'll go back towards Klalamba. So while James is following Tingana, we'll head back to Klalamba in the hope that maybe Thandi turns and goes all the way back to her little one. But I don't think so. I think Thandi knows it's an overcast, grey, cool morning. There's perfect conditions for a leopard to be hunting, and so that's what I think she's going to be doing. I think she's trying to find a meal somewhere in this area. Chris, no. So you'll find a situation where Thandi, Klalamba, Tingana and Hosana are not going to team up to defend a territory. As we saw the other night with Thandi, she was not very happy about Hosana being around. Lots of growling, lots of hissing, trying to kind of block him as he was walking, trying to keep him away from Klalamba. So they won't form a unit to defend territory, but in saying that, both Thandi and Tingana effectively are defending territory as a unit, because, well, one is a male leopard that is going around marking his territory, and Thandi's marking her territory within his, and she's moving wherever he goes. And so effectively, I suppose, if you could look at it that way, I mean, it's a long shot to draw a conclusion between the two, but or a connection, should I say, but it is the way it is. I mean, they obviously do get into these kind of situations where she's under protection of him, and both actively marking is effectively providing a nice, decent area in order to keep Klalamba safe. Good, but it's going to take us a while to get to Klalamba. We're going to have to go around, we'll have to go down past the dam, so we'll just keep an eye out for anything as we go. It's going to be an interesting morning from a point of view that weather has changed drastically. So yesterday and the previous days have been very, very warm and very clear skies, whereas today there's this grey overcast feel to the day, and it feels like it's going to get colder rather than warmer as the day progresses. And so it's going to be interesting just to see how that changes animal behavior, because sometimes when you get a cold front coming through, some of the animals just disappear and go into areas where they'll hide, especially things like elephants. And then you'll find that the cats can actually be quite active in weather like this. It's also very, very good weather for wild dogs, funnily enough. Generally when it's overcast, wild dogs come out and make an appearance. So we'll try and see if we can find something good. While we head off down towards Columba, let's send you back across to Steve, who I think is finding another hotspot.
Yes, we found a group of hotspots from the air, and have a look at the size of these ones. And from the air, from a distance, it's hard to really say what they are, but as you get closer and closer and closer and the image starts to stabilize, you'll start to notice that they have got a very long nose and very, unfortunately, there are some trees once again. There we go. There we go. We've got it back again. There's a herd of elephants from the air. We've gotten the signal back again, but it is a bit sketchy. There we go. Look at them. You can clearly see the shape and the outline of them with the trunk and the feet, but unfortunately the signal is not great where we're sitting. We keep freezing. But anyway, someone who is not freezing, well, maybe he is. He's walking with the Duke. Let's go back over to James.
I don't think he's freezing. It's not very freezing this morning. We have got him again. We just now lost him again, but he's around here. Don't worry, we will get him again shortly, as long as I don't flip over on this termite mound. Hold on tight, Craig. Woo! We made it. Okay, I'll get him now. He's having his morning constitutional at the moment, so I don't want to look at him just yet. Okay, he's finished now. We'll get him coming through here, Craig. There we go. So he's walking straight in front of this camp. Looking a little peckish. He could do with a meal. So it probably weighs in at around about 65 kilograms, which is about 140 pounds. So it's not a particularly heavy animal, but they look somewhat heavier than they are. He's marking territory now, obviously. I'll just let him move on, and this is quite common. He may have found some dung to lie in there. Just mask his scent slightly. Sorry, Kirsten, wait a second. All right, you may go again with that question. Kirsten is our director, everybody. I'm not speaking to somebody in the ether. Ah, right. I would like you all, please, to give us a one-word tweet about what you felt when Tingana approached his daughter. One-word tweet, how did you feel about that? Let's move on. Hashtag SafariLive, send us your one-word tweet. Tell you what I felt. I felt excited, but that's not a very good word. I felt enthralled. I was enthralled to see what would happen. Oops, no brakes. Right, we might get him eye level coming through here now. There he is. It is, of course, still quite dark, and those are a group of photographers on that car. Yeah, Michael's scared. I didn't feel so much scared because I know that they've interacted before, and so I didn't think that there was any real danger. But we don't know that for sure, obviously. Okay, now we're going to have to wait until we can get round the other side. And Ali, you felt flabbergasted. Well, it was fairly flabbergasting to have 2 leopards in one sighting, especially so unexpectedly. It's become fairly de rigueur of late. I mean, we've had 3 leopards in one sighting for at least, what, 3 days now? Now we get one and we think, oh, there's only 1 leopard here, how very disappointing. Which of course is ridiculous. I think he's going to take about 3 minutes to come out of this bush. No, maybe 2 minutes. So we'll get around in 1 minute and then position ourselves superbly to catch the Duke on his emergence. Patrick, good word. Protective, you felt protective. Yeah, there was an element of that for me too, I must say. I certainly, that's how I would have felt if there'd been hyenas coming through there. I'm going to say this quite honestly and candidly, that were a hyena to come across young Tlalamba and were Tlalamba not to be aware of the hyena, it would be very, very difficult for me to just stand by and say nothing, or, you know, not clap my hands and wake the little cat up, because to see her taken out by a hyena would be, I think, well, something I really just wouldn't want to see. And I know that we try and let nature take its course, etc., etc., but I have to tell you, I think that my instincts would overtake me, and I may well sort of wake the leopard up. She should be coming through here now. Bryden, that's a good one. You say your one word is Aish, and Aish, of course, is a South Africanism, basically meaning, well, it can mean anything. It can mean a wow, it can mean, oof, that's tough. It can mean all sorts of things, but it's a good one. We'll just stand by here. I don't think there's any point in moving from where we are now. Hopefully going to pop out on the game path. Give us a magical view of his sloping spots. Oh, there's a Franklin. Look at that, Craig. There, coming out on the game path. Franklin, an advance guard. His honour party. Just coming to clear the way. You know, look. Taking off bits of detritus that might be on the carpet that the Duke is walking down. I'm just getting some communications from Tristan here. Tristan, yes, we left her just on the... She'd climbed off the termite mound when Tingana came. She was on the eastern side. Let's see if he pitches up. He could, of course, just skip around the side. All right, while we wait, I think let's go across and find out what is in store for us on foot.
A very, very good morning and a warm welcome to the beginning of the bush walk. My plan this morning is not difficult at all. I will be heading towards the area where Thandi has been seen yesterday, and there is where I'm going to assist all the other guys who are driving, as I think on foot it might be a little bit much easier for me to pick up fresh evidence. The weather this morning was on my favor. It is overcast, it's not hot, it is not cold, it's just mild. So this kind of weather is my special preference when it comes to trekking activities. So I hope to find Thandi won't be that very difficult for me this morning. So I will try and pick up all the previous evidence and try and update other guys and see if we can manage to get hold of Thandi this morning. So now I'm not too sure if the other colleagues of mine got interesting things. So let's see, maybe James has got something interesting for you at this stage.
James does have something. James has Tingana, the male leopard. There he is, wandering along the game path that was cleared for him by that very kind Natal spurfowl. If you do hear what sounds like the dim crackle of rifle fire, it isn't in fact the dim crackle of rifle fire, it is a vehicle full of very enthusiastic photographers. If he looks towards them, it's going to sound like the trenches. The Lorax, yes, most certainly. Leopards eat francolins. Leopards eat just about anything. Anything made of meat, they will eat. Can you hear that now? There's a lot of people about to be bored with some slideshows when the group gets home. Unfortunately for them, he's now walked behind us, so they can't see him. He'll probably have a little drink here. Shall I just move slightly, Craigus? Let's go back a bit. Well, if you think that there was a lot of rifle fire before, sorry about this, everyone. That's the camera giving us trouble. It is, of course, early morning. We've been out since 4 o'clock, and so it wants its coffee. It's grinding. Now, what's interesting here is you can see the muscle tone on him, but you can also possibly see where the bones stick out. You can see the powerful shoulders. That's his elbow you can see sticking out the back there, so that's the equivalent of your elbow bone. And as we go past the back there, that is obviously his knee. So that thing sticking up there is his knee. Those big shoulders, and if you listen carefully, you can hear his mouth and his lips smacking together. Yes, magic dragon wizard, it is truly magnificent to see a male leopard coming to the end of his reign, but doing so very well. As I get older, I've said this to some of you before, but as I get older, I'm more and more fascinated by sportsmen who make a comeback late in life or only make it late. And Tingana is comfortably in that sort of category now, as an almost 13-year-old male. He should, in theory, be coming to the end of his powers, but he's looking so good at the moment. A bit like a sort of Roger Federer of the leopard world. So, Craig, it's very artistic, that. Very lovely art you're making there. Let's go back across to Tristan while we beat the stuffing out of this camera.
Well, James, good luck. Hopefully you don't end up hurting yourself while beating the stuffing out of that camera. We are, as you can see, gazing upon a beautiful sunrise. It's about to be one of those spectacular ones that's going to come up just below the cloud base and light up this whole area. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Isn't that nice? Very wintry feel to that as well, with all the leaves off of the tree. Now we've come to the area where James had Clalamba, but there's no sign of her whatsoever. I can't see her anywhere here. I don't know where even James left her. The last I got was that she came off the termite mound. Now, this morning when we first found Thandi, she was with Clalamba and was sitting on top of that mound over there. And then we left James with Clalamba and we followed Thandi off as she went hunting. But there's no sign to indicate that Clalamba is still sitting anywhere in this area. It's also obviously quite a thick, dense section. She's a small leopard, and if she doesn't want to be seen, she just has to duck down, and it'll be incredibly difficult to be able to actually find her. So we're going to just try and bumble about here a little bit and just see if there's no sign of her immediately, then we'll probably head off out of the area. I also don't really want to stress her too much. She's had a busy morning once again. In fact, she's had a big few days with Tingana hanging around as much as he has. And it's made a situation where she's obviously had to kind of deal with that and meet Tingana all these days in a row, and there's been hyenas around, and so we don't want to stress her out and make her feel like she needs to be nervous of us in any way, shape or form. Right, now it sounds like Steve has ditched the drone and has packed things up and is now on the road and is out looking about for various different things.
Yes, well, the drone has played its part in the evening. And oh, we've got a hyena. Look at that. 3 hyena. We've just come down to the 4 hyena. I'm going to stop numbering them until we get a 5. I'm going to stop saying how many numbers. Here we get 3 on our left-hand side. 2 in front of us. Fantastic. Hello, family of hyena. And a 6th one. I'm just going to stop with the numbers, because with the coming of the dawn is the coming of the light, and the animals that have survived the torments of the night. We're going to see what we can find along our way, heading down towards Chitwa Watching Hole. But these hyena have been out and about prowling, and they come back to reach each other, and they greet, and their little ceremonies. It's fantastic. You never know what's going to happen out in the African wilderness. You can just turn the corner, and there you can have them. And you can see they're walking over a bit of a brown or dark area. This is a fire break on the southern side of Djuma. Fire break is put in there by management to prevent any wildfires from occurring. Look at that beautiful light coming in on the back of that hyena. Beautiful. They're heading in. I wonder if they're going to pick up on the scent of Tingana. We're not far from Twin Dams, where we found him last night. And they might pick up on a scent and follow him all the way north. Or maybe they're heading back towards the hyena den, potential den site that Tristan was talking about yesterday. Sarah, no, we didn't. Ralph went to the pin Tristan dropped, but there was no real fresh activity. We found more hyena around there, and they are now, this group is heading back in that sort of direction. So maybe there is something going on, but we do find lots of activity along this sort of southern section of Djuma of hyenas, lots of tracks. Where they are going exactly is hard to say. There might be a den site to our south here. It's very hard to say. But there they're slowly moving through the morning. Most of the other animals are quite happy the light is now out. They can see what's going on. The hyena, with their incredible sense of smell, is slowly moving back in the east. Crystal, you say comets and ribbon. Thank you very much. I still don't know how you managed to identify all these hyena. They look very similar to me. But let's move up a bit and see if we can see them some more. But they are disappearing into the bushes, heading directly towards the sun. Maybe they enjoy the sunrise as well. Maybe they've got some sunrise stretches they're going to do. There's a little bit of a greeting. Amy, you want to know why the females are the leaders? Well, first of all, let's have a look at the greeting ceremony that's happening over there. They present their most sensitive parts to each other, and they have a proper sniff. You can see both of them have got an enlarged, or a penis or an enlarged clitoris pseudopenis that looks pretty much the same. And lots of science is coming out now that actually shows that it's not only females who run the clan, that potentially a male can inherit that from his female mother if she is the matriarch. But what they're doing now is that they are presenting their most vulnerable parts in submissive gesture. If you don't submit and show your most private parts, then you must be hiding something, and then you could potentially be attacked, because those teeth are very, very dangerous, used for ripping animals apart. Look at them, aren't they cute? Well, cute I don't think is the right word, but beautiful in their own right. Here comes a third one from the left. Let's see how these three interact with each other. See, the tails have gone up. Okay, that one walks straight past. It's almost a submissive gesture. Here comes a fourth one. They're going to run past the screen. The tails go up. There's all sort of posturing happening there. See how that one's now going down in front? Submissive behavior. Tails up are a sign of aggression for hyena, and as you all know, when we talk about an animal running away with its tail between its legs, when a hyena drops its tail between its legs, it's showing submissive behavior. I'm going to have to move up another few meters there. There they go. Now they're on the move. Let's just get in the open gap over here. We might get them coming through. Let me just move through that little spot there, shall I? There, they're going to come through this gap just here on the left, Ferg. Very good. Here they come. They've probably been out all individually on their own wanderings in the evening, and they're all very excited to be catching up with each other again. And through their smell, they'll be able to know exactly what they've been up to, where they've been, what they've played with, who they've seen, where they've scent marked. There's really an enormous amount of communication that goes on with that nose, and it does. So we cannot fathom the depth of it. But there's all sorts of communication signals going on in the brain. Well, marvellous. The nocturnal hunters in the clans, the hyena, showed themselves. You got to see lots of that during the first hour of the show, of the North clan. And this is the Djuma clan. Well, Sydney's on bushwalk. We're going to continue on down towards Chitwa watering hole, see who else is coming down to drink. And while we do that, let's go and see what Sydney's up to on foot.
So I am now in the middle of the block in the game reserve, just towards Central, to try and find some tracks for one of the big cats. But it seems like the activities on these cats, it was not too much last night. I have not yet picked up any updates on the ground. I am still looking, and I'm checking all the small pathways as well, because on the roads I can see it was only hyenas going up and down. So now I just want to try and cover this whole area until I pick up some tracks. But you know, the animals such as cats, they can easily hide. Specifically Tandy, the one I'm looking for. She's so very much shy these days. I don't know why. Maybe because of the presence of Tlalamba. Because yesterday I was also looking for Tlalamba, which was not very easy to reallocate Tlalamba in the area. So maybe this morning I might be lucky or not, but I will try my best. So we must have to check all these small pathways. And also here is quiet. So now let's see, maybe the other guys who are on drive, like Tristan, has got something on their side already.
Well, no, nothing at this stage. Well, I suppose actually we do have something now. There's a little duiker that's sitting over there. So it's quite typical to find these guys in these little drainage undulating sections. You often will see them feeding about in these areas, nice and thick and dense, great places for them to hide. And it's part of the reason why we find so many leopards in these kind of areas, is that they like to hunt in these thickets, and they know that they can come across quite a few prey animals when they do. Now this looks like a little young male. Those horns are not hugely developed just yet, and they will get bigger than what they are currently, and you'll find that possibly this individual is just separated from its parents, and it's still trying to eke out a territory of its own with a female of its own. I didn't see any others as we arrived here. Obviously sometimes you don't see the partner, but this guy, just being the size that he is and the size of the horns, it's fairly evident that it's probably not an individual that has set up a territory and is mating just yet. Now, we left the area of where Tlalamba was just because it's thick, it's dense. There were a few birds alarm calling in the drainage, and she's had, like I say, a rough morning already with mom disappearing and then dad arriving, and she'll be quite amped up and probably a little on the shy side. So we thought we'd leave her to be, and we wouldn't want to stress her out too much crashing over trees and breaking branches and all those kind of things. And so now we've just come into the Mulwati system, and there's really only one reason I've come in here, and that's to try and find the little prince. So I'm trying to find Hosana. There is no sign of him whatsoever leaving the dam. We cannot find a single track from the night that he was at the dam, which was 2 days ago, so the dam in front of the camp at Vuyatela, and from there we can't work out where he's gone. So we're going to try and see if maybe he just slipped over the dam wall somehow and has just gone southwards and no one really picked him up. And so far there's been no sign here where I've driven. I thought maybe, just maybe, I might pick up his tracks walking along in the sand, but we haven't found anything as yet. But I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. He likes these areas. It's good areas for him to move around in under the cover of the thickets, and obviously also to be able to hunt. We know he likes to hunt quite a lot, and so I'm hoping that he's somewhere here. I have a sneaky suspicion that he managed to catch something on that evening, and he's sitting on a carcass somewhere, and that's why we're not seeing him moving about. That's what I think anyway. I mean, we would have found tracks of him if he had been moving about and kind of moved into different areas. The problem is if he was on a kill, then he might have gone for water, and we haven't seen him come down to the dam or go towards Gallagher, because we would have again found tracks in those areas. So interesting one. It's one of those leopard grows wings and flies. Leopards tend to have quite regularly out here. They seem to be able to at will deploy wing structures and just fly to the next spot. Right, now it sounds like we're losing a little bit of signal, so let's send you back across to James.
Right, well, we're trying desperately, everybody, now to keep up with Tingana. He's gone into a particularly thickly gullied region, and so we're doing some, well, extreme 4x4ing. See how extreme we are? Oh, that's disgusting. Sorry about that, everyone. Yes, I believe, Anna-Marie, that Tingana is absolutely in good enough condition to confront Hukumuri. Hukumuri, a young male leopard, aged probably around 6, no experience, doesn't have anything like the experience of Tingana. He's also probably slightly smaller. And so I believe that Tingana does have the requisite skills, guile, size and experience to deal with Hukumuri. And I believe that if he didn't, Hukumuri would have come in already. Ooh, there's a nyala there. You might see a leopard get on its back just now. Lovely, Craig. I see you're still making coffee. Rex, I've got to the old hyena den. Confirm he was headed straight here. They said he was coming down through this little riverbed here. Anything there, Craig, other than my Stroxylon aethiopicum? That's the bush you're looking at now, everyone. That nyala is about to be pounced on, or we're in the wrong place. Listening for birds, any sort of alarm call? Babblers, perhaps? Yes, there are babbers going. Move a little bit forward. Craig, with his 6 feet and 2 inches, is now standing on the back of the car to aid us in our search. It's quite easy for these things to just disappear, we mustn't forget. They are leopards after all. And he could easily have then just turned north into this riverbed, and then really there will be no chance. All right, I believe there's a little bit of confusion. Hang on a second, we've got an alarming bird there. A little bit of confusion about the TV show and what's happening with that. All right, so basically what you're watching now is a rehearsal for the TV show Overtime. It's called SafariLive Overtime. This you will be able to watch as normal, as you do on your normal feed, on your YouTube feed. The TV show you will also be able to watch on your YouTube feed or on Nat Geo Wild at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's just look down into this drainage system here on Saturday evenings. So basically, next Friday evening in the States at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, you'll get an hour of TV, and then for those who are watching it on TV, you can swap over either to @NatGeo on Twitter, or you can go to SafariLive on Facebook, and there you will find SafariLive Overtime, which is this rehearsal that we're doing now. This is basically a public rehearsal, everybody. That's what's going on here. Does that explain everything? Oh, it is definitely live and interactive, absolutely. We won't be live from the Mara for the show. They will be basically showing us weekly highlights clips, if you like. We'll always be live from Djuma, and the last hour will be fully live and interactive with 4 feeds coming out of Djuma. I don't know where this leopard's gone, I'm afraid. May have gone to sleep. We'll have just a look around here and see if we can't find him. In the meantime, let's just go and find out how Tristan is feeling about his day.
Well, James, I feel like we had a fantastic start to the day, but since then it went downhill quite rapidly. We really struggled to find anything since then, and we've been out-thwarted by, well, 2 leopardesses, and now sounds like James has had the same happen to him with Tingana. So it's been a bit tough. They've walked a really horrible line today, and then they went through some horrible stuff. So poor Wendy, which is our trusty steed, is probably having a bit of a regretful day, and a far worse day than any of us have had, because we've taken it through places where it probably shouldn't really have gone. But anyway, it seems as though it's driving okay, and seems as though it's still working, which is good news. Now, no sign of Hosanna anyway, still can't find any tracks at all. So, Michael, the only updates I've got on Kuchava is that she was seen on the western side of Nkoro. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And not mating anymore. So she was just seen on the western side. She was moving around doing her own thing, but no sign of her mating with any other males since that sighting of her mating, when was it? 4 or 5 days ago. So it's no real updates really. There's definitely no sign of her cub anywhere. No one's seen tracks, and the times that they have seen her, there's been no cub in attendance. So I'm pretty sure that little one unfortunately hasn't made it, and you've got a situation where she's now mating because she's coming into estrus cycles. I mean, at one point I thought maybe, just maybe, she might be in a false estrus just to try and fool that male that she has a cub, but I don't think so. She's way out of her kind of areas where she was keeping the cub. When we start to see her on Nkoro, then we can start to realize that she's gone far, far, far to the east, much further east than she's been since she's had that cub. So it's an interesting kind of change in her behavior, and I think it's pretty indicative that that cub is no longer around anywhere. Now, I've come back towards quarantine just from a point of view that I wanted to see if maybe Thandi came back out onto the access road here, because she was milling around in this block and going up and down, and so I thought maybe, just maybe, she might turn and come back, particularly if Tingana is busy tracking her down. Right, now while I do that, let's send you back across to Steve, who's at Chitwa Dam.
Yes, well, we're at Chitwa watering hole. We've come to see the hippos, of course, and anything else that might have come down here to the watering hole to drink. It is very quiet on the animal front, apart from the fact that every single Egyptian goose in the area has decided it is time to shout to the morning. There's some serious territorial warfare going on, and a lot of that has got to do with the fact that they've survived the evening. But Ferg, what I'm quite excited about is there's 2 very large stalks coming in from the left there. They've just gone behind the tree. The 2 saddleboard stalks, I saw them a moment ago. They're going to come in past the tree here, and they're probably going to come and land in and around the watering hole. Here they come. 2 endangered birds right there, a breeding pair. They reckon there's only 60 of them, 60 breeding pairs in the Kruger, and they're followed by a 3rd one, which is fantastic. Now coming down towards the watering hole, as it is their time of day to start feeding. They've been roosting somewhere high and dry, away from all of the predators, and now they're going to come down to the watering hole looking for their fish and frogs and whatever else they might be able to find in and around the water. It's not just hippos we'll find here, beautiful birds like that. They're going to do a little bit of a beeline turn down. There's a little bit of a wet, marshy area on that side, and it has been an awesome evening or morning. It's very hard to piece what together if it's morning or day at the moment, but it is now morning, and it is a nice overcast day. It's been a fantastic morning. Should we get one more shot to them? No, they're coming down. There we are, Fergie. Look at them. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. Thank you for joining us this morning. It has been a really interesting morning, from all of the technology to the leopards, the cats, the hyena, the storks coming into land at the watering hole. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again bright and early this afternoon. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.